Australia should never have said sorry. What do I mean by that? Well, all the way back in 2008, on the 13th of February, our then ridiculous Prime Minister, known as Kevin Rudd, decided to stand up in Parliament and offer a formal apology to the Aboriginal people of Australia. Australia is, as far as I'm aware, the only country in the world whereby a politician or the then leader of that country has decided to stand up in Parliament and make a formal apology to the Indigenous individuals in the past, the ones that aren't even here to receive the apology. But, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't about that. It was about the present generations. It's also about the future generations receiving all the benefits that came as a result of the apology. And because Kevin Rudd decided to stand up in Parliament and make that formal apology to all the Indigenous people in the past and in the present, somehow the people in the present reap the benefits and the rewards of what happened to their ancestors in the past. Horrible, I know, but we can't do anything about that. So why should the Indigenous people in 2008 reap the benefits of what happened to their ancestors? They're not even around anymore. So what does it matter? What is Kevin Rudd standing up in Parliament making a formal apology going to do? I'm glad you guys asked, because after Kevin Rudd made that formal apology, which is a major deal, I'll have you know, I still remember it. I was young at the time, but I still remember him on the TV. I was watching him on the TV making that formal apology. It was like, whoa, what are we doing? But since then, every single year we have a day, a national day to say sorry. Still, many years on, every single year, I'm forgetting what day it actually is, but every single year in May, sometime in May, we have a national day where people get on their faces and they apologize to Aboriginal Australians. For what? The Aboriginal Australians today are totally different to the Aboriginal Australians in the past. You know why that is? Because the Aboriginal Australians today are reaping the rewards and the benefits thanks to Kevin Rudd. Aboriginal Australians get a lot. If you are an Indigenous Australian in this country of Australia, free housing, free healthcare, free education, you get so much. You have tax benefits up the wazoo, especially if you are a Torres Strait Islander as well. Free healthcare. You get everything pretty much for free. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Rudd. Kevin Rudd decided, you know what, I'm going to pander to the likes of the Indigenous Australians of that time in 2008, because for some reason I had nothing else better to do with my time aside from destroying the country, and we'll get to all the other things that he did that were wrong. But one of the major things that he did that was wrong was create this major entitlement. I have friends of mine that are Aboriginal, and I love them to death because they're fantastic, they're hardworking, and I'll never say anything bad about them because I know they've worked enormously hard. But there's a lot, and I mean a lot, that have got this attitude of laziness and entitlement and said, oh, woe is me. My ancestors were hard done by. So now give me all the benefits of what happened to my ancestors. What is the point of apologizing for something you haven't even done? Why do I need to apologize and be made to feel bad or even made to pay for something that I don't even think my ancestors did? I don't even know. How can I be certain, and how can any other Australian, for that fact, that is actually white and doesn't have anything Indigenous in their genes or ancestry, how can we be certain that we were in the wrong? We could have been in the right. Why are we being made to pay for something we didn't even do? And every single year, we have these dingbat politicians that get up and virtue signal the living crap out of themselves to say, I'm sorry. We have one day of the year where people that want to virtue signal will go, I'm sorry. But you know what this has done to Australia? Everyone's looking for a handout now. On forms, it's got, are you Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander? Or are you Indigenous? Because if you are, then guess what? You get to reap all the benefits of the white taxpayer. Fantastic, isn't it? But loads of people are saying that it's well overdue. We cannot wait another generation acknowledging National Sorry Day. Because apparently we haven't had enough sorry. Apparently we haven't apologized enough. Apparently we need to keep apologizing. And we shouldn't stop apologizing because they're never going to forgive us for something we didn't even do. How does that even work? Well, I'm glad some of you are asking because it doesn't work, except it's become more of a political issue, hasn't it? It's become more about how a politician looks and behaves to the Indigenous Australians. And guess what? The white Australian, like myself, ends up come tax time having to pay a lot more because it's National Sorry Day, thanks to Kevin Rudd. Now, Kevin Rudd was given a major surplus thanks to John Howard. And every Australian worked their backsides off because, yes, John Howard raised a tax for every Australian. That's because we were in a great deal of debt before then. But if it wasn't for John Howard doing that, same with John Anderson, we wouldn't have been in the great financial position we were in at the time. And you know what Kevin Rudd decides to do? Oh, great, we've got a surplus. Let's spend. And he gave, I think, every single Australian that was over a particular age a large sum of money that just tanked the economy. Because one thing that Kevin Rudd didn't understand was economics. You shouldn't be spending money up the wazoo, but that's what Kevin Rudd did. So one of the major failures of Kevin Rudd was apologising. And then also future Prime Minister, known as Anthony Albanese, trying to do The Voice. If you don't remember that, where have you been? The Voice was an absolute disgrace. Now, some of you may be wondering, Jay, are you racist towards Aboriginal people? No, I am not. I happen to believe in all Australians, not just Indigenous Australians, but all Australians. Why is it that Indigenous Australians reap the rewards and the benefits that the white Australian is made to pay for? Why are we still doing that? Aren't we all Australian? Shouldn't fair be fair? You guys, the Aboriginal Australians today, you haven't suffered like your ancestors more than likely did. So why are you getting the benefits? And if you are getting the benefits, are you really making something of yourself? Why do I need to apologize? I've done nothing wrong. Why do I need to pay excess amount? I've done nothing wrong. It's ridiculous. And I think we're the only country that has done that to the Indigenous population. I don't know if America has, Canada, I don't know. I don't think I've heard anything like this before, but it's only Australia. And this report, Stephen Shafura says it's a bullshit report. No other way to put it. The report that I put up a moment ago. We can't wait another generation acknowledging National Sorry Day. Stephen goes, it's not about saying sorry, changing dates and all the other rubbish. It is just about grifters looking for more money. I say let's stop giving them $50 billion a year, take back 60% of our country and stop all the racist privileges. Because that's exactly what it all is. It's racist. There's no other way to put it. Australia should never have said sorry. Why did we? According to our government, they're speaking on behalf of all of us because we voted them in. No, it doesn't work like that. Sure, you may have been voted in, but you don't speak for me. You think that you speak for Australians, but you really don't. Because Australians made it evidently clear or abundantly clear, come The Voice, that we don't want any more of this divisive nonsense. We've had enough of it because the vast amount of Australians know we should never have said sorry. It opened up Pandora's box to more. The moment you said sorry was allowing victimhood mentality straight in, asking for more handouts, and not actually encouraging or amplifying Indigenous Australians to work hard like every other Australian. I've got more respect for immigrants that come into this country that assimilate and work hard. Where's their benefits? Where's the white man's benefit? Oh, no. The Indigenous Australian gets everything. Torres Strait Islander gets everything. How does that work? Isn't that unfair? Jay, life's unfair. Sorry, things should be fair in a democracy, should they not? I forgot that we're living in a democracy where fair's fair, but seemingly it seems more communist, where only one side reaps all the benefits. Not every other person in the country. No, just one. Who's really in control? I wonder. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.